Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next day of the Grand Final tournament. This time we're gonna jump into round 2 of the upper bracket. Only 16 lords remain. Here's the table, and we're gonna see some very interesting matches. I'm really not sure which way some of them will go, so without further ado, let us jump into them. Alright, let's jump into the first match. Kugath Blakefather versus Durthu, the mighty tree man who is already Kugath is shooting something illegally at Durthu in the match. Let's see how this one goes. Durthu has almost 10,000 health, but Kugath is just a beast with 15,000 health, lots of weapon strength, huge melee defense, 79, and he's also cheating, so there you go. Durthu, despite having all the advantages, he doesn't seem to be able to do much to Kugath. So far, Kugath is down to 1300 health. Let's speed this match up a little bit. And yeah, it looks like Durthu is just slowly taking damage. Kugath is still almost at 3/4, when Durthu is almost at half health. He's using his abilities. Kugath is slowly going down, but I don't think that's gonna be enough for Durthu. Kugath is almost at half health, but Durthu is almost done at this point. It looks like he's gonna go down in this matchup, and indeed Durthu goes down in this and in the next match in exactly the same way. Kugath Blakefather, the undefeated so far, goes into the next round 2-0 for Kugath. Let's jump into the next match. This is gonna be Tamurkhan, the Maggot Lord, versus Vlad von Carstein, out of all lords who somehow managed to get into this actually quite an advanced stage of the tournament. So I'm quite surprised Vlad is doing so far. So let's see how this match goes. Tamurkhan looks like he's taking a bit of damage. Vlad, no, it doesn't look good for Vlad. He seems to be getting pummeled by Tamurkhan. Let's slow this down a little bit. Vlad is down to almost half health. Tamurkhan is just knocking him around. Lots of health for Tamurkhan. Vlad is still regenerating, but he with regeneration he cannot regenerate quick enough. And Tamurkhan, yeah, he's almost at 2/3 of his health. Vlad goes down in this match, and yeah, not really a chance for Vlad. Well, let's wait until he stops getting pummeled around, and Vlad goes down in this, and we can't even see Vlad in this. And the next match is going to be a 2-0 for Tamurkhan, who goes into the next round to face Kugath Blakefather in a Nurgle contest. Alright, let's jump into the next match. This is gonna be Grimgor Ironhide versus Imrik. Two legendary lords, and they're both charging into each other. Well, Imrik is charging into Grimgor. Let's look at the stats. Grimgor has 2,000 less health, well, 2,500 less health, a little bit less weapon strength, but as we know, Grimgor is the lord who has the most amount of abilities. He has 6 abilities that he can use in battle, so he's gonna use all of them as Imrik is charging into him with huge weapon strength. Imrik is getting debuffed to just 16 melee defense. Grimgor is buffed up to 150 armor, 54 melee defense, huge stats. So I think as long as his buffs are there, he's gonna be doing fine. Grimgor seems to have taken a lot of damage though from the charge. Imrik is at 4,000 health in the first match. Grimgor is down to 2,700, 2,300. I think he needs to really equalize in this match if he will stand a chance. He's out of buffs, and without buffs, they are mostly equally matched. And Grimgor loses the first match to Imrik. It's going to be a 1-0 for Imrik. Let's jump into the second match as Imrik is again charging into Grimgor. Imrik has a huge charge bonus. He has an ability that gives him something like 80 charge. As though, there we go, he's charging into Grimgor again. Grimgor is using all his abilities, standing ground for Seeker. Gets Sneak to do a lot of damage to Imrik. Imrik is out of abilities temporarily, just 16 melee defense, not good. Imrik needs to recover, and this time looks like Imrik is at 6,300, Grimgor is at 4,200, so percentage-wise I think they're almost equal. Imrik seems to be doing a little bit more damage to Grimgor. Grimgor is using the buffs. Let's look at this one goes. Let's slow this down. Grimgor is down to 2,700. Imrik is at 4,400. So Grimgor really needs to do a good job here to win this match. 2,300 for Grimgor. And there we go. Grimgor manages to land a few very nice strikes on Imrik. 2,300 versus 3,200. A very close match between these two. Let's see if any of them have any buffs. Grimgor has best of the best, just a little bit of, well, he has a consistent ward save and Bloodforged armor, a little bit more armor. Imrik has Dragon Horde, which is giving him, Imrik has both of his buffs, so let's see if that's gonna be enough for Imrik to beat Grimgor. 1800 versus 900, and looks like Imrik is gonna go down in the second match, and Grimgor manages to get a draw so far in the matches between these two lords. So 1-1 between Grimgor and Imrik, and let's jump into the third match to see how that one goes. Alright, the third match, as Imrik is again discharging into Grimgor, and let's see who's gonna win this one, because the winner is gonna go into the next round and the loser is gonna drop into the loser's bracket. Imrik is charging into Grimgor with all his might, but it looks like 7200 versus 5800. Looks like Grimgor is doing a lot more damage to Imrik this time. He's down to 4600, but Imrik is down to 5200. Yeah, looks like Imrik is taking a lot more damage this time around. Grimgor is at 3800, Imrik is at already 3500, so Grimgor managed to get ahead despite the charge. That is a very rare occurrence. He takes a little bit more damage, 3200 versus 3100, a very close match. Let's see if that's going to be enough for Grimgor. Let's slow this down. Grimgor is again using his stand your ground ability, blood pushed armor and the ward save. Grimgor is very tanky on the ground, and Imrik, he is wounded. I think that's gonna play in his favor. Grimgor is still not wounded. Imrik is wavering, and his health is down to 1300, and Grimgor manages to claw the victory out of the jaws of defeat. 2-1, Grimgor manages to make a comeback and goes into the next round, and Imrik is gonna fall into the losers bracket. Alright, let's jump into the next match. This is going to be Rakath versus Skarsbrand now. People may think this is a little bit one-sided, but Rakath has huge anti-large bonuses, that is his main advantage, and he also gets a 10% ward save when he's fighting large opponents. There we go, the Beast Armor of Karen Carr, 11% ward save. Skarsbrand is also going to use all of his abilities, 85 attack, melee attack, 1000 weapon strength. Let's see if that's going to be enough to bring down Rakath, or if Rakath is going to bring down Skarsbrand. They look, well, I think Skarsbrand is a little bit ahead in this match. Skarsbrand is at 6200, Imrik is 50, Rakath, sorry, Rakath is at 4800. Looks like Skarsbrand is actually taking a lot of damage. I think that's the fun thing about his matches. He does a lot of damage, but he also takes a lot of damage. They're usually pretty quick. So Rakath is down to 2600. Skarsbrand is at 4800. I think he's a little bit ahead, and looks like Rakath is going to go down in the first match. It's going to be 1-0 for Skarsbrand. Let's jump into the second match. It's gonna be Rakath again versus Skarsbrand, as he's charging into Skarsbrand with his huge anti-large buff. So let's see if that's gonna pay out. There we go. Rakath jumps into Skarsbrand. Skarsbrand takes quite a bit of damage, and this time Rakath, he has 10% ward save on top of a 10% of a ward save and a very nice damage buff. So they're both kind of equal. This time around, actually, look at that. Skarsbrand down to 5600, and Rakath is at 5200. 560 weapon strength. There's 15 anti-large bonus, but he also has a buff that he can use to get more anti-large bonus, a better chance to hit. Skarsbrand is using the rampage. That's not really gonna help him so much. 85 melee weapon strength, that's very good, but there is bonus plus large versus 60 plus 16 bonus versus large. That is a very good stat against Skarsbrand. Skarsbrand is down to 1800, 1300 versus 2600. Looks like Skarsbrand is starting to waver a little bit for the first time. Skarsbrand might be losing the match, and it looks like he is gonna lose the second round to Rakath. 1-1 between these two. What a surprise, the first defeat for Skarsbrand. And let's look at the final match, Rakath versus Skarsbrand. Rakath is again charging into Skarsbrand. Let's see if his huge charge bonus is going to be... I'm sorry, not the charge bonus, the anti-large damage is going to be enough against Skarsbrand this time. Skarsbrand goes again to huge stats, 85 melee attack, 9000 weapon strength. There we go. Looks like a close match between these two, 5100 versus 6100. Skarsbrand is a little bit ahead, but it looks like he's doing more damage this time. He's landing the strikes he needs to land. Rakath is down to 2600, and Skarsbrand is at 5000 health, so unless Rakath can land some few lucky strikes, he's gonna lose this one. 2-1 for Skarsbrand, a very tough victory, but he goes into the next round, and well played, Rakath. We'll see you in the bottom part of the tournament. Alright, let's jump into the next match. Malus Darkblade versus Kroq are both riding the huge mounts. Maybe it was a mistake for Malus to ride the mount, because Kroq has also the anti-large bonus. 35 anti-large bonus, that's a huge bonus. There we go, both of them charging into each other. Malus, despite having the blood price, which is 20% ward save, takes a lot of damage from the charge. Kroq has a huge charge bonus and anti-large. Malus has to transform into Malus Darkblade, into Zarkan, the demon. Sorry about that. There we go, 20% ward save, and he has a little bit of healing, but he's also taking damage per second consistently. So let's see if that's going to be enough against Kroq. Kroq is at 4300, Malus is at 2800. Looks like Kroq is a little bit ahead in this one. 3100 versus 1700. Looks like Kroq might be able to win the first match, and it looks like, well, yeah, he wavers, and there we go. Kroq wins the first one. 1-0 for Kroq in this matchup. Let's jump into the second match between these two. This time Malus is on foot to make sure Kroq doesn't get his huge bonus, and Kroq is riding the his mount. So there we go. Kroq charges into Malus. Malus is down to almost half health, but can he stabilize? No, I think he's gonna waver, so he has to do the transformation. But this time Kroq is already down to half health. Malus managed to do a lot of damage to him very quick. Malus, his Archaon form is also unbreakable, so that's his advantage. 82 melee attack, 500 weapon strength, that is a lot. And let's see if Kroq will be able to handle that. Kroq also has Cold-Blooded, just gets some leadership and frenzy. Yes, I'm gonna help him. 5% ward save, not bad, but is that gonna be enough? Malus is 1700, Kroq is at 500, and Kroq loses this one. So 1-1 between these two. Kind of surprising, so many matchups so close at this stage of the bracket. So let's go into the next one. Alright, this is it, the final match between these two. Let's see if Malus will be able to go into the next bracket. He was undefeated before this match, but Kroq managed to knock him down. There we go, Kroq rushes into Malus. This time not so much damage from the charge. Malus seems to be stabilizing without the transformation. That doesn't look good for Kroq. He's down to 16 melee defense, and he pummels Malus around, but that's not a good idea because Malus has regeneration. Looks like Kroq is taking quite a bit of damage. Malus does the transformation, and Kroq is already very low. He's at half health, and you don't want to fight Zarkan when you're at half health. I don't think that's going to be enough for Kroq, and it isn't. Malus takes a 2-1 victory and goes into the next round. If you have ever wondered who is the better Warrior of Chaos, Archaon or Bel'akor, let's find this out. Let's compare these two. Archaon has better stats and everything. Bel'akor has just more health, but he has a nice ability that gives him 60% ward save for a very long time. So let's see how this one goes. Bel'akor is charging into, there we go, Shadow Shroud, 60% ward save. Let's see if that's gonna save Bel'akor from Archaon, who is a very strong lord. He has almost 100 all the stats, huge weapon strength, and 80-60 unbuffed without any buffs. That's a lot, actually. Let's see how this one goes. Looks like yeah, looks like Bel'akor is actually not doing that much damage to Archaon. Archaon is sitting almost at full health. Bel'akor is down already to almost half health. He's not hitting Archaon that much. Archaon is using the buff again to go to 100 melee attack. That is a lot more than Bel'akor. Bel'akor doesn't have any buffs that he can use to his stats apart from the Shadow Shroud just to negate some damage, but he needs to do more damage, I think, if he is gonna win this one. Let's continue watching this one, and no, it looks like Bel'akor is gonna go down in the first, and he'll also go down in the same way in the second match, so it's gonna be a rather easy 2-0 for Archaon. Let's jump into the next match. This is going to be a Luthor Harkon, the one who silences his opponents, versus Kholek Suneater. Let's see if Luthor Harkon's silence is going to be enough to beat the mighty dragon ogre Shagath. Let's see how this match goes. Kholek is using his buffs preemptively to make sure he doesn't get silenced. Well, he will get silenced as Luthor charges into him, but 44 melee attack, 42 melee defense. Let's see if that's going to be enough to save Luthor Harkon. Doesn't look good for Luthor, actually. No, he's getting crushed by Kholek. No, there's no chance he's going to be winning this one. Kholek took a very nice amount of damage, but no, Kholek is going to win this one without any trouble. It's going to be a 1-0 and then a 2-0 for Kholek Suneater. And let's jump into the last match of the upper bracket, Tyrion versus Astragoth Ironhide. Let's compare these two. Astragoth has a little bit more health, but worse stats, and he doesn't have a lot of melee buffs. He has only the Black Hammer of Hashut, which gives him more melee damage, but apart from that, he doesn't have much. Tyrion is just a beast of a lord, more than 100 melee attack, 72 melee defense, that is without any buffs, and yeah, Tyrion is not very healthy. He has the secret regeneration that might not even need for this match. Yeah, looks like it's going very easily for Tyrion. Tyrion is just not really taking that much damage. Astragoth is almost at half health. Both lords are not landing any strikes. They're missing all the strikes right now. Astragoth is down to 1900. Tyrion is at... well, he's almost at full health, so it's going to be a very easy 1-0 and then a 2-0 for Tyrion. Astragoth, yeah. He got into this round, but he just doesn't do enough damage. He doesn't have any buffs or anything to make sure he can take down Tyrion. So 2-0 for Tyrion. So here are the standings after round 2. Kugoth Plaguefather and Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord, the beast of the Nurglings or Nurgle Lords in round 3. Grimgor Ironhide is gonna face Skarsbrand the Exiled. Then we have Malus versus Archaon the Everchosen, and his opponent Tyrion, well, Archaon's opponent Tyrion, is gonna face Kholek Suneater. A lot of unexpected matches. I have no idea where this one are gonna go, so would be very interesting to see what happens next in the upper bracket. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Losers Round 3 in the Best Melee Lord Grand Finals. This is round 3. Only 16 participants left in the lower bracket, and let's see how they are gonna play each other. And without further ado, let us jump into the matches. The first one is gonna be Greasus Goldtooth versus Thogrim Grudgebearer. Let's jump into it. Alright, here we go, the first match between Greasus Goldtooth and Thogrim Grudgebearer. Let's quickly compare the participants, and as you can see, Thogrim, well, I would say they have almost the same stats. So Thogrim has a lot more armor, not so much melee attack, better melee defense, but one of the issues he has is that he is not armor piercing, unlike Greasus, who is armor piercing, who has a bonus versus large, and Thogrim is unfortunately large. So let's see how this one goes. Both of them charge into each other. Greasus using all his buffs to get up to almost 1000 weapon strength, 65 melee attack, still very nice. And looks like Thogrim is taking quite a beating from Greasus. He cannot really match the damage of the ogre. He's down to 2400. Greasus is almost at half health. It looks like this is not gonna be really a problem for Greasus Goldtooth. He's down to 4900, but Thogrim is gonna go down in this and the next match without really putting up much of a fight. I guess this lack of armor piercing damage is gonna be his downfall. It's gonna be 2-0 for I forgot his name, for Greasus. Jesus Christ, yeah, I forgot his name completely. For Greasus. Greasus goes into the next round, and Thogrim, unfortunately, is gonna leave the tournament. Next we have the battle in the skies. This time it's Alberic de Bordelot, the last representative of Britannia, versus Boris Todbringer, the last representative of the Empire. They charge into each other. Alberic has the anti-large bonus, so this may help him, and the Blessing of the Lady, 15% ward save, very nice. He's getting affected by Boris. Boris has the regeneration, so that's his big advantage. Let's see how this match goes and speed this up a little bit. Both of them are doing a lot of damage to each other, and it looks like a very equal matchup. I think Boris is a little bit ahead. Boris is at 4400, Alberic is at 4700, so yeah, not really much of an advantage. It looks like Alberic actually is slowly gaining the advantage over Boris. Boris taking a lot more damage. He's regenerating it, of course, but this anti-large bonus that Alberic has with the ward save, and yeah, it's it's giving him a lot of advantages over Boris. 42 bonus versus large, I think that's one of the largest anti-large bonuses we have seen in this tournament, and it looks like Alberic is actually gonna take Boris despite his regeneration. 1-0 for Alberic. Let's jump into the second match. This time Boris is gonna try to fight him on foot. Now this is a risky decision because Boris on foot has almost twice as little health as he's flying, but this anti-large bonus is not gonna apply. And Boris still has regeneration. He has Deadly Onslaught, another nice buff, so let's see how this one goes. Alberic charges into Boris, does a lot of damage to Boris, but looks like Boris is managing to stabilize it. He's down to 3300, but his regeneration, 8 health a second, is quite sufficient for this matchup. Alberic is just not really hitting him that much, and yeah, he doesn't have the anti-small infantry bonus, so Boris is banking on that. This 15% ward save, though, that's a lot, actually. So yeah, let's see how this one goes. Boris is down to 2200, Alberic is at 3800. Percentage-wise, I would say they are almost equal. 1600 versus 3200, so Boris really needs to catch up in this one. 2900 for Alberic versus 1900 for Boris. Boris doesn't have armor piercing, so that's one of the disadvantages of being on foot, but Alberic, well, he's decently armored. 90 armor is, I would say, like an average value for this tournament, so let's see how this goes. And it looks like Boris is actually managing to stabilize. 2100 for Boris. Alberic just doesn't do enough damage, and looks like 400 for Boris versus 500. Let's slow this down, and looks like Boris, before I slow down, Boris manages to claw a very close victory between these two. So 1-1, and let's jump into the final match. Alright, this is it, the final showdown between these two. Boris on foot versus Alberic, who's gonna charge into Boris again. Let's see if being on foot is gonna help Boris this time. Alberic charges into Boris, and let's see how this goes. Boris is bracing, and let's see if that's gonna be enough, but looks like, look at the damage Boris took. Boris took almost half his health in damage, and he really needs to make a comeback. His leadership is wavering, and looks like Alberic is gonna win this one very quickly. He managed to land a few nice strikes, and he's gonna win this match in 20 seconds. I guess dismounting for Boris was not really a good option, but again, fighting in the sky also didn't work for him. So 2-1, and Alberic, the last Bretonnian lord in this tournament, is gonna go in the next match, and we're saying goodbye to Boris, who managed to have one of the best runs for the Empire. Well done, Boris. Alright, next we have the battle on the ground. This time is Ungrim versus Nakai. Again, two amazing melee lords. Let's compare these two. Nakai has a little bit more health, more weapon strength, but it's a worse melee attack, melee defense, and as we know, both of them have incredible buffs. So let's see how this one goes. Both of them are charging into each other, and there we go. Ungrim is using all his buffs to go to 1000 weapon strength. Not a lot of melee defense. Nakai is doing the same actually. He goes to 100 weapon strength with his primal roar and physical resistance, which is coming handy in this matchup. And he has the golden tributes, which gives him 10% ward save, so it's quite a lot of actually 30% ward save, but looks like Ungrim, this anti-large bonus with 1000 weapon strength is gonna be Nakai's downfall. Nakai took so much damage very quickly. Let's see if Nakai is gonna be able to make a comeback in this round. 3400 for Ungrim, 1900 for Nakai, and Nakai seems to go down in this one, so it's gonna be a 1-0 for Ungrim. Let's look at the second match between these two, as again, both of them are slowly charging into each other. There we go, almost hitting each other right now, and there we go. Both of them go to incredible strength, and let's see how this one goes. Looks like Ungrim is actually taking a lot more damage this time. Ungrim is down to 3500, Nakai is still at 4800, so that looks good for Ungrim. Doesn't look good for Ungrim. He has a lot of weapon strength, but not a lot of melee defense, and I think this one might be one of the advantages Nakai has. He doesn't go as much low into the melee defense. It looks like Nakai is actually winning this one. Ungrim is unbreakable though, so maybe he will be able to make a comeback. He's down to 700 versus 2800 for Nakai. Yeah, Nakai looks like Nakai is gonna land a few lucky strikes, and there you go. Nakai wins this one. Look at how happy he is, the big Kroq, as he beats Ungrim in the second match. 1-1 between these two, and let's jump into the final match. Alright, and this is it, the final match between Ungrim and Nakai. Only one of them is gonna go through, and again, I love seeing this. On the ground, close combat melee matchups between these slow-moving lords who have just a lot of weapon strength and damage. There we go, Nakai completely misses Ungrim and runs around as he has to turn around. Well, I mean, he's a Kroq, so he's not super smart. Ungrim lands a nice strike on Nakai, another nice strike, and let's speed this up a little bit and see how this one goes. And it looks like Nakai, despite his, what is it, the primal roar, yeah, it's over, and Nakai took so much damage from Ungrim. Ungrim got very lucky, I guess, with his strikes. Ungrim really needs to land his strikes, and Nakai is down to 2500. Ungrim is still sitting at 3100. Nakai, maybe he can, no, he cannot stabilize, and he loses this round. Ungrim Ironfist wins it and goes into the next round. Nakai, well, it was a good round for Nakai. He managed to kick Valkyr the Bloody out of the tournament, so well done, Nakai, and well fought. So I didn't realize he had such ropes or something around him. I'm curious what that is. Let me know in the comments. But Nakai loses this one, and Ungrim goes into the next round. Let's jump into the next match. This is going to be Boris versus Drazoath the Ashen. Let's compare quickly these two. Drazoath has more health and slightly better stats, but Boris is one of the best lords in the tournament because he has bonus versus large. He has a lot of buffs, he has a lot of abilities, and he is just really hard to take down. So there we go. Drazoath charges into Boris, does a lot of damage. Boris buffs himself up. There we go. Fury of Ursus, Stand Your Ground, Foe Seeker, and Deadly Onslaught. 735 weapon strength, 50 and 79 melee defense. Drazoath also has a lot of melee attack, but his melee defense is a little bit worse, and he also has the Blazing Body, which gives him more physical resistance, so let's see if that's going to be enough. And looks like Drazoath, he is at 3400, Boris at 3200, so looks like Boris is actually slowly equalizing and getting ahead in this match. 2800 versus 2600, but percentage-wise, Boris has a lot more health, and Drazoath, yeah, doesn't really have the charge bonus anymore. He has the ward save and physical resistance 1%. I don't think it's going to be enough against the beast that Boris is, and he loses this, and he's also going to lose the next match in the exact same way. Boris Ursus, the last Lord of Kislev, is going to go into the next round, and we say goodbye to Drazoath the Ashen. 2-0 for Boris Ursus. Let's jump into the next match. This is going to be Kroq versus Loki Felhard. Kroq has the anti-lash bonus, so as we know, flying maybe not the best idea, but Loki wants to do it anyway because he is a very good flyer and he has regeneration just as Kroq. So let's see how this goes. He charges into Kroq. Kroq is down to 7300. Loki is at 7600, so looks like Kroq is taking more damage in this match. Let's look at them quickly. 5200 versus 6500, so I think Kroq took a lot more damage from the charge, but maybe he'll be able to catch up slowly. Loki is just a good lord. He has, there we go, 10 melee defense, so not really a big buff. Kroq also doesn't use that many abilities, so he's using Frostbite sometimes when he hits his opponents, but that's obviously not enough. Loki has Dreaded Duelist, very nice, 24 melee attack, melee defense, and Foe Seeker just to regenerate a little bit, which Kroq also does have. So let's see how this match goes between these two. Kroq is down to 2800. He's reaching his regeneration cap. Fight or die. There you go, 24 melee attack, but without the melee defense that Loki has. Both of them are regenerating. Let's see the rates: 8 health per second and 8 health per second. They're the same rates. There we go. Loki Felhard looks like he took a lot of damage. Kroq is at 2400. Loki is at 1600. There we go, but Loki lands another nice trick on Kroq, so Kroq is down to 900 versus 900 for Loki versus 2000 for Kroq. Looks like Loki is gonna waver if he misses another strike from Kroq. Kroq is, Kroq manages to claw Loki with his hammer, and he's gonna take the first victory in this matchup, 1-0 for Kroq. Let's jump into the next match between these two. He's still using the dragon. Loki is charging into Kroq, and let's see how the second one goes. Loki charges into Kroq, does quickly quite a bit of damage to Kroq. Kroq is, he needs to stabilize again in this match. He's behind 5200 versus 5600. Again, they're getting kind of close. 4400 versus 3800. Let's see how this one goes. 4500 versus 3400, so I think Kroq is catching up against Loki, and it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a close match between these two. Now, one of the disadvantages Kroq has is his leadership is not really that good. He wavers a lot in these matches. So Loki is down to 2400. He's using again his abilities to buff his damage. Kroq is at 2300. 200 for Loki, 2300 for Kroq. So if Loki misses another few strikes, he's gonna go down and lose this matchup. But Kroq is, there we go, he lands a strike on Kroq, and Kroq wavers at the last second. Looks like Kroq ran out of leadership before they even finished the fight. So as I said, the low leadership is his Achilles heel, and it's a 1-1 in this matchup. Let's jump into the final match between these two. Alright, this is the final matchup between Kroq and Loki Felhard. What a battle. Both of them were very close to winning this one. Loki barely managed to win the second one. And there we go, he charges into Kroq again. Let's see how this one goes. Kroq is at 6100, Loki is at 6800. Looks like Kroq is again catching up to Loki slowly but steadily. 5700, 4800. I need to slow this down. I can't see anything. Kroq is at 4300. Loki is 5300. So Kroq is a little bit behind, but not really that much. I think his leadership is the worst thing he has, because look at it. Loki has 66 leadership in this matchup. Kroq is down to already 39, and he might waver before Loki, so let's see how this one goes. Looks like Kroq is actually taking a lot more strikes versus Loki. Loki is at 4100, Kroq is down to 2400. He really needs to make a comeback, or he's gonna lose the ground, as the game tells very specifically. Oh, there we go. He lands a few nice strikes on Loki. Loki is at 2700, 2000 for Kroq. A very close match. None of them have any buffs. Well, there we go. Deadly Onslaught from Loki Felhard. More armor-piercing damage. He lands another nice strike on Kroq, and Kroq is gonna go down. A nice run-up for Kroq, who was, if you remember, if you watched the previous matches, Kroq was interesting to watch, because every time somebody charged into him, he would just roll around, and that was the way he managed to win against Nakai, because while he was rolling around, he had so much time to regenerate in this matchup. But well done, Kroq, and Loki Felhat of the Dark Elves goes into the next round, 2-1 for Loki Felhat. Let's jump into the next match. This is gonna be Nakai versus Alistair the White Lion. Alistair has a lot more health and more armor, better weapon strength, but as we know, Nakai is one of the best melee combatants, save for his very full armor. So there we go. Alistair is charging into him with 63 charge bonus, and Nakai debuffs him to 40 melee attack, 10 defense. Look at that. Nakai and goes up to 1000 weapon strength, and let's see how this goes for Alistair. This doesn't look good for Alistair at all. Nakai is almost at 3/4 of his health, and Alistair, despite the charge, is taking a lot more damage. And yeah, Nakai has slightly better stats, and Alistair, apart from the charge, doesn't really have that many bonuses, so let's keep on watching this match. He seems to be equalizing a bit, so Nakai is down to half health. He is at 40, there we go, 4000 versus 4000. Yeah, they have the same health level, so Alistair finally managed to land the strikes he needed on Nakai, and let's see if this is gonna be close. Looks like Nakai is landing a few more strikes. Alistair is wavering, 3200 versus 3200. Yeah, again close, but percentage-wise, Nakai I think is still ahead. Let's slow this down. He's down to 2100 versus 2400. Anybody could be the winner in this match. Let's see how this one goes. Alistair is down to 1600 versus 1400. None of them are wavering. Well, Nakai has 11 leadership, which is not good for a demon. Alistair is down to 21 leadership, so yeah, it will depend on the last few strikes in this match. 1400 again versus 1300. Both of them are wounded. None of them seem to have any buffs right now that he can use. Nakai is down to 4 leadership. Is he gonna go down? No, he doesn't go down. He's still in the fight. There we go. Alistair charges into Nakai. Nakai, yeah, he lands a strike. Okay, Alistair is down to 600 health. Nakai manages to land another strike. He needs, I guess, one more. Oh, Alistair is gonna waver. -3 leadership. Yeah, he wavers, and Nakai gets a very close victory. Look at that, his disgusting tongue. That he maybe was the key to this victory. It's gonna be a 1-0 for Nakai. Let's jump into the second match between these two, as again Alistair is charging into Nakai. Nakai is waiting for him on the ground, and let's see if the second match is gonna go anything better for Alistair. There we go. He does quite a nice amount of damage from the charge. It looks like Nakai is a little bit down, so maybe Nakai is almost at half health. Alistair is at 2/3, so I think Nakai is doing a little bit worse, but Alistair, well, let's see how this one goes. 3100 for Nakai, 5500 for Alistair. Nakai needs to catch up. 2700 versus 4300. Looks like Nakai is actually catching up quickly. 2700 versus 3100. Yeah, Nakai is landing a lot of strikes on Alistair. I think again it's going to be a very close matchup as Nakai is catching up. 1400 versus 1800. Yeah, anybody could be the winner in this one, but looks like Nakai found some secret sauce, I guess. He's down to 900 health, but he's not wavering. He's debuffing Alistair. Or I also got the hero and killing blow. The guy goes up to 1000 weapon strength. If he lands the strikes, he's gonna go into the next round. Alistair is, I guess he looks a little bit unsure of what to do against Nakai. Nakai really needs to land the next strike, I guess, or he's gonna waver. There we go. He lands another strike. Alistair is at 1200. Nakai is at 900, and Alistair, it's your time to land a strike. No, Alistair doesn't do anything. 900 versus 800. Alistair is wavering a little bit against the demon, and Nakai lands another one. So Nakai wins the second match. Again, a very close matchup. A 2-0 for Nakai, who will go into the next round. Let's jump into the next match. This is gonna be Sigvald the Magnificent versus Miao Ying. Let's wait while she transforms into her dragon form. Sigvald is a very nice lord, despite having not really that much armor piercing damage. He's very tanky, he has regeneration, nice stats, and he has Sundering ability that he can use from time to time. And yeah, as I said, he has regeneration. Miao Ying, a very nice dragon, 55 melee attack, 45 melee defense, but she doesn't have any abilities at all. So it all is gonna be on Sigvald. He turns out Silver Slash, which gives him more damage, and Sundering, and even more damage. So 1000 weapon strength, quite a bit of armor piercing, and Sundering. So let's see how this match goes. Sigvald is, let's look at his regeneration rate, 10 a second, so decent rate. And let's say Miao Ying seems to be landing a few nice strikes on Sigvald, but yeah, Sigvald is very tanky. He doesn't. Miao Ying doesn't have any way to get rid of his armor or melee defense, so she's landing strike after strike, but she's also, Sigvald is slowly chipping away at her health. Let's look at Sigvald. Does he... No, he hasn't even reached the healing cap, so he is at 4200. Looks like Miao Ying, yeah, needs to land a lot more strikes if Sigvald is to go down, because he's just regenerating all his strikes. And yeah, looks like Sigvald, despite lying on the ground, is gonna win this match, and he's gonna win the second match in the exact same way. Miao Ying would not just land the strikes that she needs to win the match against Sigvald, so it's gonna be 2-0 for Sigvald in this matchup. And let's look at another interesting match in this group. This is going to be the last match. Grombrindle versus Yuan Bo, who is going to transform into his mighty dragon form to fight Grombrindle. Grombrindle is unbreakable, has huge stats, 125 armor, 70 melee attack, magical damage. So let's see how this goes. Yuan Bo has 10% ward save. He has the Dragon's Fang, which gives him a very nice 100 attack, melee attack, and he has the Executioner. So if you remember, if his opponent goes down to 20% of health, Yuan Bo is going to be able to execute him. Let's see if he's going to be able to manage to bring Grombrindle down to 20%. Yuan Bo is running circles around the Grombrindle, but looks like he's taking a lot more damage. 4900 for the mighty dragon versus, whereas Grombrindle 3900, 3500, but he is unwavering. So let's see if this is going to be enough for Yuan Bo. I think he's waiting for Grombrindle to go down into the execution range. 2300 versus 2600, again a very close match, but things like he lands a few nice strikes. There we go. 1500 versus how much he has, 1200. There we go. Yuan Bo can execute him. Is he gonna do the execution? Let's watch that. And is there an execution? I'm pretty sure he has one of his abilities. Yeah, he goes to the Dragon's Fang. So if he hits Grombrindle, there you go, he hits Grombrindle, and just having barely manages to win the first match. It's gonna be 1-0 for Yuan Bo, but what a close match. Let's jump into the second match between these two, and let's see what Yuan Bo decides to do and whether he's going to transform into the dragon. I think he is, because the Grombrindle doesn't have any anti-lash bonuses, so there we go, the dragon is flying into Grombrindle, who has expert charge defense, so the charge won't matter. And let's see how this one goes. Yuan Bo seems to be taking a lot more damage from Grombrindle. He's almost down to half health. Grombrindle hasn't taken, well, almost anything in this matchup. Interesting. Yeah, looks like the charge didn't help Yuan Bo that much. It looks like he's down to 4000 health. Grombrindle is at 5300, but percentage-wise, Grombrindle is so far ahead. And let's look at the weapon strength. Yuan Bo has more weapon strength, but Grombrindle has 70 melee attack and 45 melee defense. So I think he has slightly better stats than Yuan Bo. Yuan Bo is getting debuffed by the flash bomb that Grombrindle also has. Oh my god, Jesus, look at that! The white dwarf flies away in a spectacular fashion as the dragon attacks him again, but it looks like, yeah, looks like it's not going to be enough for the dragon, as he couldn't bring Grombrindle even to half health in this matchup, and the dragon goes down 1-1 between these two. And let's look at the final match between these two. This is going to be the decider, which is going to decide who is going to go into the next round and who is going to leave us. Let's see if Yuan Bo is going to transform into the dragon this time around, or whether he is going to be on foot. And he is going to be on foot. Yeah, maybe a good decision for Yuan Bo, because let's look at that. He has bonus versus infantry against small targets. Small targets, that goes in the book for sure, but anyway, despite even going that in the book, he still has the bonus, so he can land a few nice strikes. And stat-wise, they are very similar to Grombrindle, except he has a lot more health. Everything else is very similar, so there we go. Yuan Bo charges into Grombrindle, and let's see how this one goes. There we go. Yuan Bo is fighting on foot this time, leaving green marks on the ground. Looks very nasty. Grombrindle is down to 4400 health. Yuan Bo is still at 60. Yeah, looks like Yuan Bo made actually the right call. 3200 for Grombrindle. Yuan Bo is almost at half health, and looks like the white dwarf is looting the ground. And there we go, he is viable to be executed by Yuan Bo. And let's see if the mighty Jade Dragon is gonna actually do that. And there we go, Grombrindle goes down in an execution, and Yuan Bo, joyfully jumping over the poor white dwarf, goes in the next round. 2-1 for Yuan Bo. So here are all the results in the losers of round 3 in the lower bracket, and we'll see some very interesting matchups in the 4th round. Greasus Goldtooth, who has been clearing through the lower bracket is going to face Rakath. Both of them have huge anti-large bonuses, so that's going to be interesting. Imrik versus Alberic, the battle in disguise. We'll see if Alberic's anti-large bonus is going to be enough versus Imrik. Then we'll see Vlad von Carstein versus Ungrim Ironfist. I think Ungrim should be able to take this one, but we'll see. Durthu versus Boris Ursus, Aster with Iron Hand versus Loki Felhad. Luthor Harkon versus Nakai Bel'akor versus Sigil the Magnificent. And Kroq versus Yuan Bo. So would be a very interesting losers round. Just 16 lords left in this bracket, and there will be only 8 left after round 4.